how do you feel like learning science and cognitive science has changed what we know about how to identify students with dyslexia and support them?
Yeah. Well, since there has been that the really sort of explosion of information that we've acquired even over just the last 20 years because of technology that we have of non-invasively looking at functioning brains through that magnetic encephalography and magnetic source imaging. We've been able to look at functioning brains for quite a while, but in very invasive ways, shave the head and plant electrodes in the brain, that kind of thing. So now we can do this in a non-invasive way. So the more information we have, finding characteristics, early signs of dyslexia, we can now associate that. Even if we can't do a brain scan on a child, we can look for those early indicators, and they are often language-based. We're looking for things like in young children around 3 years old and 4 years old, a neurotypical child will begin, as their language develops, they will begin to notice patterns, auditory patterns like rhyming, and they will really enjoy the whole process of hearing nursery rhymes and playing rhyming games, and beginning to notice patterns around 4 and 5 years old of how sounds, they may even on their own start to connect sounds and letters. They see that great big M on McDonald's, and they may take note of the fact that that M, or that sign, they may not even know the name of it, but that is the same sound as mommy. It's the same sound as my friend Melissa. They'll start seeing and hearing those patterns. Hearing is the key there. That's what they're taking note of. Our children and often will enjoy playing rhyming games, or if a parent like me as a teacher, I would play little games with my children, like, what sound do you hear at the beginning of horse and honey, and what sound do you hear at the end of monkey and money? And that would feel like a little game that we would play. Children with dyslexia don't hear those sounds. That's not a fun game for them. They won't be able to answer those questions. They don't hear those patterns. So right around as early as 3 and 4, and certainly by 5 years old, we can take note of those indicators and get these, if everything's working as they should, we can get those children connected with age-appropriate interventions that for those really young children really do look and feel like games. It's often doing those same kind of activities, but with much more structure and support, and knowing that it's not going to be easy, it's not going to be fun, this is not an enjoyable thing. We're asking those young children to rewire their brains in a very effortful way. So knowing what the causal factors are has led us to earlier and most appropriate interventions. But the challenge then becomes to deliver those interventions to children earlier and in a way that's is age appropriate and makes the process as enjoyable as possible.